Before we can fetch the currently authenticated user, first, we need a way to determine if a user is signed in or not. Let's tackle that first. Then we will see how easy it is to fetch the currently authenticated user afterwards. So we are going to create a new function inside the index.js file in the utils directory. We'll call the function getAuthUser, and it will accept the request. Since we are making use of JWT, we expect the incoming request to our server to have an authorization header containing the token. So the authorization header will look like this. Then the token. So token with bearer. Then if the authorization header is empty, we set it to an empty string. Next, let's get the actual token. .split by space. Then we want to get the second value in the array. That is this part. Then if no token is found, we simply return null. Otherwise, we verify the token using the JWT package. The verify function accepts the token and the secret key. So we are going to wrap this in a try and catch block. If the token cannot be verified, again we return null. Then let's export the function. With this, we can get the currently authenticated user. But again, we need to make sure it is available to all our resolvers. So just as we did with the models, we are going to add it as the context to the Apollo server. First, let's pull in the function. Now, instead of passing just an object, we're going to convert it to a function. We get the request. Then we create a new variable called authUser. Then call the getAuthUser function. Then pass the request. Now we can return an object containing both the models and the authenticated user. Now, let's create the query to fetch the details of the currently authenticated user. Again, we're going to extend the root query type. Then we'll call the query me, which will return a user type. Next, let's create the resolver function. I'm going to collapse this. Then create a query object. Then a me function. This time around, instead of just getting the models, we will also get the authenticated user. So using the authenticated user, we can fetch the user details from the database. Now let's test this out. We're going to create a new tab for that. We want to run a query, which is the me query. But before we run this query, we need to have been signed in. So let's sign in again. So I'm going to copy this token and head back here. Then add an header. authorization, bearer, then the token. Now let's specify the details we want to return: the username, the email, the role, the avatar, created at, updated at, and run the query. And here we have it, the details of the currently authenticated user.